Welcome on into the Auburn Sports Forum, where it's the Auburn sports from a fan's perspective. Let me see here, make sure we're live before I go any further because just a minute ago I started the live and didn't hit the button. So there you go. Now I believe we're good now. Yes, I think we're good now. Awesome. So there you go. But thanks you for coming on into the Auburn Sports Forum, where it's the Auburn show from a fan's perspective. I'm your host, Jeremiah Schumann, and we're going to get on into it today. Let me see here. We have to talk about the portal. We're going to talk about Alex Golesh, and we're going to talk about Cam Coleman. That is the three topics we're going to talk about today. But before we do that, and before we go any further, I'm going to say that one of the main reasons that I started this whole YouTube side of it, my TikTok's doing really well. I'm having a lot of fun with that. But I mainly started this part of YouTube, the longer form content, in order to have Auburn fans up on lives with me, because that is one of the things I love to do is talk about Auburn. And in Mississippi it's hard to find them, so I said, hey, I got some friends on YouTube. They said, get on YouTube and you'll find them. So that's what I'm here for, to talk to Auburn fans. So tonight we are going to have a friend of mine, Auburn fan, up on panel with me as soon as he gets done doing what he's doing, and we'll get into it. But when he gets up on panel, as I said, we're going to talk about the portal. We're going to talk about what we kind of want to see with the portal coming up on January the 2nd, offense and defense. We're going to talk about Alex Gooish, our head coach, because for some reason there's a lot of people out here second guessing what he's doing because we're hemorrhaging players, they say. And it doesn't matter how many times you tell people to their face, you're going to hemorrhage players because you have a new coach and he's going to bring in a new system, a new standard, a new just way of life at Auburn for the football team. You have to understand that's going to be all new players. There's going to be very few players that fit into this system in every facet. And it's just going to be players are going to want to leave. That's just how it's going to work. And so the other thing is it's kind of like at a job. When you have a job and you are not having a good time, and then you have a new boss that comes in, you kind of just don't even want to be there. You got a bad taste in your mouth. Well, that's kind of what happens to these players, and I mean, if I'm being honest, they should have a bad taste in their mouth because things have been horrible. So we're going to talk about Alex Golesh, what we expect from him. Also, Cam Coleman, the news that just came out about his agent saying that, basically laying out what they're looking for. And we're just going to just dive into what we think is right, what we think we want from Cam Coleman. Do we want him to be here? Do we think that just paying the man a boatload of money is the answer? Or, what do we think is the right thing there? So let me check real quick. Yep. So anyway, that is the three topics we're going to talk about. Craig, are you ready? I don't think he's ready yet, but that's okay. So I'll go ahead and start talking about the portal because it's one of the most important things going right now. It is when you have a team that's 5-7 like the Auburn Tigers, the portal is the most important thing. And this is the worst time of the year for an Auburn Tigers fan or anybody that's not in a bowl game, that's looking forward to next season. The portal opens on January 2nd, and we've had a lot of our players go in. That's why it's horrible right now. But at the same time, when you have a team that has committed to $30 million into NIL, then your portal season's probably going to be pretty good. They're going to make a big splash. That's way bigger than we did last year with Hugh Freeze, and we had a lot of fun with that. So what I think is the most important thing, just right off the top, is you have to get the player right. When you're looking at the portal, everybody's saying pay Cam Coleman all this money or go after this player or that player. You have to get the player right. They have to fit Alex Golesh's scheme. If they don't fit his scheme, it doesn't work. And if you look at what Alex Golesh has done in the past, he doesn't go after the big name. He that's not really his style unless that big name fits in his program, fits in his style and his scheme, his standard, everything that goes along with it. That's usually what he goes after. So just going after the top names is not, paying the big money is not really what we're looking for here. We're looking for uh, fit of player over superstars. I mean, I think that's the smart way to do it. You save money that way as well. And I'm not saying you're not going to get any superstars. I'm saying every single player is not going to be one. And then you also use the portal as kind of a system accelerator. So what you're doing is you're keeping the guys that want to stay, the ones that fit the system that were here last year. You're going to bring in some guys from his old school at South Florida, and then you're going to go into the portal and you're going to fill these holes to make a complete team. And you're going to bring in veterans that have had plenty of snaps, in my opinion, from the portal and just plug and play. So that's the overview of the type of player that you're after. And when I've talked to a lot of Auburn fans on TikTok and other places, X and stuff like that, it's kind of a known consensus that we all want an offensive line here at Auburn. I mean, the offensive line is something we've never had in just forever. I can't think of. I mean, 2017 was a pretty good offensive line, but I mean, how many years ago was that? 7, 8. I mean, we've had good defensive lines. We've had great defensive lines. We've never had just a elite offensive line. And I think when you got $30 million, I think you can go after some really key pieces in that offensive line, and I think that's where you start. After you get to that offensive line, you get that all shored up, then I think the next thing you want to do is go after a QB. Now, this is kind of a touchy subject because half of the Auburn fan base wants Deuce Knight. And then I would say another quarter wants like a Byron Brown. And then another quarter wants some unnamed dude that we hadn't really talked about. But before I get into it, let me check on the man behind the mic here. Are you ready? All right. So before I go any further, I just want to make sure he was ready. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring him up. This is my friend, man behind the mic, and we'll go ahead and get into it. So, like I said, I like to bring in Auburn fans, and we talk Auburn. This guy right here, I've talked to him a good bit about Auburn. He loves Auburn, and I'm going to let him introduce himself. What I would like him to do is tell the audience where he's from and how he became an Auburn fan.
Hi, my name is the man behind the mic, as same as if you follow me on TikTok as well. I've been an Auburn fan for 25 years. The reason why I became an Auburn fan because I just love, like I said, my favorite color is obviously orange and blue. But also it's because I just like the SEC and I hate Alabama, so I'm a big Auburn fan. So like I said, I'm really excited about this portal, um, transfer portal, the signing day, all that stuff. But let's just get into it. I am from Houston, Texas. Like I said, there's not a lot of Auburn fans out here in Houston, Texas. But when I do find them, it's great to have them. War Eagle.
Absolutely. That's we're kind of in the same boat there with you living in Texas. I live in Mississippi, and we're just kind of lone rangers where we live. So as you heard me talking, I was talking about the offensive line and I was on the QB. Like, just off the top of your head, what's something you're like really looking forward to when the portal opens on January the 2nd?
So I'm excited about getting to see if we get Byron Brown right on the first day. That'll be exciting. And then I want to see us get some, like I said, our number one thing right now is our offensive line. Bring in some big boys, 360, 6'8". Bring in some big boys. We got the money, $30 million. So let's bring some guys in. All like I said, wide receivers can't hurt, running backs. So maybe another kicker. But my main concern is getting Byron Brown in here and then offensive line.
Okay. And then the question that I've been talking to one guy on X about, he's really big on wide receivers. Like, he wants to bring in like just some talented wide receivers. But we also have a problem because we have pieces like Cam Coleman and Eric Singleton and stuff like that. So, like, what do you think is the right mix to bring in? Do we need to keep who we got and then just kind of go after superstars, or fill in like skill players, or like what do you think is the right avenue when it comes to wide receivers?
First of all, you just worry about, like I said, who we got right now. Cam Coleman is a number one priority right now, to keep him in. Hopefully I can guarantee that um, that he'll be back once we get Byron Brown in here. Then we can bring him back, and then Eric Singleton. Those two are going to be our two top guys. Like I said, you can just bring in any wide receivers. I don't, doesn't matter, because the way Alex Golesh is going to run his offense is going to be exciting. Hurry up offense. Like I said, just bring in players that fit your system. I don't care what your name is, just as long as you do your job. That's all I care about.
So you're not against like him bringing in South Florida wide receivers, like G5 wide receivers?
Oh no, more the merrier.
Okay, so no issue there, because that's a lot of people's hang up. They don't think that they're SEC caliber and everything else, but some people need to realize that whenever they can't get to a roster that's going to give immediate playing time, they go to G5. So I think a lot of G5 players are very talented and probably SEC caliber wide receivers, running backs, all the positions that you want to name, because they just want to play. So they go to a G5 school. You think that's true?
Uh, it just all depends, like I said, on the player, and sadly, sometimes it's the money nowadays, the NIL. But like I said, I think it's all about the love of the game to me. Like I said, some of these players, they love it for the game, but sometimes it's money talks. But like I said, hopefully these players will see, like, hey, I love playing for him, and I want to play here for all 4 years, instead of just going in for 1 year and going back out. Looking for more money, and just trying to stay in one system. The system. It's going to be easy to adapt. So that's why I say it's easier if we bring in, like I said, South Florida players, defensive players, wide receivers, any type of players we can get from there. They already know the system, and they already know what he wants.
I got you. So moving on to running backs here, are you just like, pretty much expecting Jeremiah Cobb to be it, or did you want him to bring someone in?
Like I said, more the merrier. Um,
So you
as
just want
well,
depth.
like
You just want
Jeremiah
depth,
Cobb.
like you said the other day. You
Like
just
I
want
said,
depth.
any of I just want depth.
Okay, so you just want depth. I mean, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? I mean, if we had a lot of depth at every position, because we seem to only have it at DBs when the season starts. Um, So moving on to defense a little bit here. We just lost some really good edge rushers. I mean, Keldrick Falk went to the NFL. Amaris Williams decided he was going to go and stay. I don't know exactly how that played out, but let's just say Amaris isn't here. Um, what do you just feel the same way about the edge rushers as well? You just need to go straight into the portal and get some studs to come on in here.
I mean, bring some from the portal, bring some from, like I said, bring in some freshmen as well. National Signing Day as well coming up. So I mean, like I said, bring in what you can, and then fill in the extra depth with the signing day.
Yeah, because we're really bare at that position right now. I mean, we did not expect Amaris Williams to decide to leave, but I think he did. Linebacker, I think we're good. The DBs, I mean, we've got so many good guys that are coming up in the DB situation. Um, I still think we're going to have to get several for that depth piece, as you're saying. But to be honest with you, it's just unclear how they're going to do that. So I think we're going to just skip that for now, because I think that'll become more clear in the coming days. Moving on to the next topic here, which is our head coach. I got kind of a funny question. I got a kind of weird questions for you, because I think they're, you know, relatable to some of the things I've been talking about. They're not normal questions, but everybody's out here saying that Alex Golesh is losing this football team because he is hemorrhaging players. What do you have to say about that?
Like I said, we're just going to lose players. That's just how it goes when you get a new coach. Like I said, he's going to bring in his new players. So, like I said, I don't mind it. Like I said, it's going to be a lot of turnover. You're going to expect a lot of players leaving in the portal, but that's just how it goes. You just have to grin and bear it, because, like I said, he has a plan, and like I said, you got to just trust the process.
Are you worried about it?
No, not at all.
Me neither. So, when it comes to Alex Golesh and the head coach, Some of the things that he's known for is a fast, hurry up offense type scheme. Um, I think that some of the most important things that Auburn fans need to know when it comes or are looking for is kind of a proof of concept. Um, that's very important. I mean, that's to be. We go week to week and we look like one crappy team, and then the next week we look like superstars. I really don't understand how to even explain that. So, what do you think is the most important thing for Alex Golesh to do for Auburn fans to prove that he is the answer year one?
Don't just come in what you like you were advertised, what you were talking about, like in the when he was talking about in the press conference. But he's got his identity. Don't change anything and just stick with what you know. Um, like I said, he's I'm excited about Golesh. I know a lot of Auburn fans are a little bit iffy on him right now, but like I said, he runs that hurry up offense, and like I said, we've usually done pretty well when we do that hurry up offense. So like I said, I want to see some more running as well. So we gotten away from a lot of running the ball. So I'm just excited to see what Alex Golesh is going to bring to our team, especially with the exciting staff that he's filled.
Absolutely, I kind of agree with that. The only other thing I would say about Alex Golesh's offense is that it's going to look very different. It's people are going to think it's just wild because like I said he plays a lot of the same plays with different like schemes. It looks different, it's the same play but it looks different. He's just kind of trying to throw off the defense. So I think that's going to be kind of fun for Auburn fans. It's going to be a little confusing at first, but I think it's going to be fun for them. The next thing I want to see from Alex Golesh as well is like player development. That's something we have not had since early Gus Malzahn days, in my opinion. A lot of these players want to go to the NFL. I mean, that's very important. They want the NIL money, but some of the most important things that they want is to go to the NFL. And if you have to show them the way to do that, to develop them, to make them an elite player. And I think that that's just extremely important. So if that happens, I'm just going to move on to the question that all Auburn fans ask each other. If all of this happens, if you have proof of concept, if you have an offensive identity as he does, but basically doesn't come in here like Hugh Freeze and just decide that he can't call plays anymore and doesn't even know what football is. If he doesn't do that and he develops players, um, what do you think the record looks like at the end of the first season?
Like I said, my prediction will stay the same. I think it will be like a 9-3. Like I said, if we bring the his hurry up offense, it's looking pretty good. Like I said, with all the money we got to spend on these players and the transfer portal, so it's gonna be fun to watch. Like I said, I think we're gonna make some. I think we're gonna surprise a lot of people this year. So a lot of people, like I said, they're not expect us to do anything. But like I said, I like the underdog mentality.
I think that the idea is good, and I think the possibility of surprising some people is good. But it's kind of like you said in one of our conversations. You said you're kind of like in a what did you say? Kind of sit and wait and kind of prove it to me kind of mentality.
Show me mentality.
Yeah, show me
Yes.
mentality. Sorry.
So, like I said, 9-3 will be the
Okay.
main
So
the
so
record.
of those three losses, are they all to the big teams? Are they all to Georgia, Alabama, and say Tennessee?
I would say possibly Georgia, Alabama. Like I said, Alabama could go either way. So maybe possibly Tennessee's an up in the air.
Okay.
So
So would you say it's a failure if he doesn't get bowl eligible?
I would say yes because I think we can get bowl eligible. Yes, I think we
Okay.
can.
And just the kind of the third part of that same question, what year does Golesh need to start beating Georgia and Alabama to where we feel like every time we play them we have a chance?
I would say maybe third year, maybe by second, third year, or like I said, we could surprise a lot of people and beat them this year, this coming
It's not
year.
like
So you never know.
I don't want to wait. You know what I mean? I don't want to wait. I guess just what I know we could probably we already have a good caliber team. We can beat them on any given Saturday. I do believe that if we don't lose that or if we have that fourth quarter mentality. But at the same time, I just want to know like when is going to be the moment where every single season you that when those two line up that you just feel like you have a chance. It's not really it's not really an underdog story. It's a one on one, a mano, strength against strength. Who's going to win? Like, you know what I'm saying? That's a different feeling than just saying, oh, I hope we upset these guys.
Right. Because I think we can upset them next year because like what I was saying, you we could probably upset Bama next year in Georgia too. So like I said, 9-3, 10-2. I mean, that's all for your first year. That's pretty hard to say, especially with a new coach. But you have to expect, like I said, we expect winning. So I mean, we haven't had it in a while. But like I'm excited, like what Golesh is going to bring, especially with the hurry up offense.
Well, just to finish this little section off, I really think it's kind of funny that someone brought up in my live the other night. You were in it on TikTok, and they were saying it's just really kind of funny if you look at our season. Like everybody's talking how we're 5-7, we're this horrible team, but when you really look at the team, they really weren't horrible. Like there were so
No,
many games we were right in the thick of everything. There's 4 games we lost by 7 points or less. We had so many calls against us with the refs that were blatantly wrong and illegal, and we had letters from the SEC. We had all that stuff going on, and if you one little thing changes in a couple of those games, we get 2 of those wins back just by one thing changing. In the other games, 1 or 2 things need to change, and then 1 or 2 play calls go the other way, and the game is different. And we're sitting at a 7-win season or possibly even 8-win season, and we have Hugh Freeze as our head coach. Do you think that's true?
I think if we would have fired Hugh Freeze a lot earlier, I think we might have had a couple more wins. But the refs, you just got to play. You just got to play through it. Sometimes you gonna get calls on your way, but like I said, you can't let the refs determine a game because sometimes when you depend on them, sometimes they're just gonna fail you every time. So you just
That's
got
a
to
good
play through it, and hopefully you get some calls your way late in the game.
that's a good point. Just getting that fourth quarter mentality. That's kind of what I was trying to get to. Is a lot of people want to make excuses, and I was talking like we were talking last season, and then you sit there and think about it. Look at what Georgia did, how they came back. They just muscled through a bunch of adversity. Look what Alabama did last night. They muscled through some adversity. Yes, refs get things wrong and they get it way wrong, and who knows why and what the reasons are. But you can't let that affect your brain. You have to just get that fourth quarter mentality and just not let that affect you. Um, so I do like your point about don't worry about all that. Just get mentally strong and get after it, play through it type situation. So, all right. And then the last thing we're going to talk about tonight, because I know that you don't have much time, so we're going to try to keep this live a little shorter than usual, is Cam Coleman. Cam Coleman is the focal point of our offseason. A lot of our fans think that if we don't retain Cam Coleman, that our season is doomed. We just got a report that his agent said that they are looking for money. They're also looking for clarity on the quarterback situation, who that may be. So, first question I guess I'll say is do you want to keep Cam Coleman, and at what cost would you be willing to pay for Cam Coleman? Meaning, not really a dollar number, but do you think they should just throw a bag at him or whatever he's asking for to keep him, or do you think that they should do like Golesh sometimes does and sticks to his budget and says, "Hey, you're our guy, but this is all I can spend on you."
I think it all depends on well, number one, what he's looking for, especially when his agent will come out eventually and say what he's looking for. But I really think it's all about the clarity of who our quarterback is going to be because I have seen that he wants to play with either Deuce Knight or Byron Brown. So I really think it's going to come down to see who we get in the portal. Like Like I was saying, you would have to get if we could bring in Byron Brown. I think Cam Coleman stays.
So that's you think that's the only thing he's looking for? I mean, what about the money situation? Do you think they
I,
should just go to the ceiling with it or just stick to their budget?
like I said, it's all about willing whatever he's looking for. Hopefully, his agent will let Golesh know what he's looking for, and we'll see if we can match it. Or either way, like I said, he can. He's going to stay. He's going to stay with us with the money or without the money. Because I think if we get Byron Brown, I think he's going to stay. Because I think if we get Byron Brown, I think we're going to win right now.
What do you think happens? Or okay, let me say it another way. What do you want to happen if Cam like comes to the table and says, "Hey, if I don't get X amount, I'm gone." Like, what do you think you should? And let's just say that X amount is over what Golesh wants to spend.
I mean, just let him. I mean, like I said, we can bring in different types of wide receivers. I mean, everybody is replaceable. I mean, if you're all about the money, bye. I mean, because if you really want to, I mean, because this offense fits Cam Coleman perfectly.
It does. It absolutely does. The other thing I'm trying to get into the head of some Auburn fans is that when Hugh Freeze came into this whole situation 3 years ago, he literally said just recently that when he came in, he had no clue what NIL was. He had no clue how to do a deal in NIL, how he could offer players in NIL. Um, with the coach we have now, he has a complete system that he uses to evaluate players, not just him, but an entire staff has this system. It's a ladder situation where you just it's almost like you have to work your way all the way up the ladder in their evaluation, and if you make it to the top rung you get an offer. It's the same thing he does when he go to recruit people out of high school. So what I'm trying to say is this guy has a complete package system of what will work in his system, how he evaluates players, and we have people out here saying just throw a bag at him, just give him whatever the hell he wants. And see, we now have a general manager. That's another thing we haven't talked about is that we have a general manager now. So what I'm trying to say is Golesh has a complete system put together, and he's not going to just break that system for one player. If his evaluation of Cam Coleman is 2 million, which I think it's a little north of that, but I'm just saying if his evaluation is 2 million, he's not going to sit there and say, "What do you want, Cam?" And Cam go, "Oh, I want 4 million," and him go, "Okay, I'll write you a check." Like it doesn't. That's how it did work under Hugh Freeze, and that's how some coaches work. But that's not how Golesh works, because Golesh truly believes, and I've heard him say it in interviews when he was with the Bulls, he can find talented players that are sitting on benches and depth as depth pieces that want to play, and he can get them at a discount. So I just wanted to kind of put that out there. There's so many people out here that saying Cam Coleman, if he's not here, our whole season's screwed. Like, do we want him here? Absolutely, but I want Golesh to stick to his system because when he was at Tennessee, it worked. When he was at South Florida, it worked. So why is it when he comes here, it's all of a sudden just all the fans or a lot of the fans are saying, "Who gives a crap? We want to keep Cam Coleman or we're doomed." I mean, do you think that's accurate that fans are saying that, and you think that that's right, or do you think that we should let Golesh kind of put our trust in Golesh and let him do the system that we asked him to come here and do?
No player is ever above the team. I don't care. You know, if you think you're the best player in the world, like anybody can be replaced. And if he can find a 2 star, 3 star, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what star you are. Um, like I said, if he's gonna work in this system and they fit his system, then bring him in. But I would love to have Cameron back, but he is replaceable. But I would like to have him back.
Yeah, I don't think there's any Auburn fan
But
that
no
doesn't want.
player is above the team.
Yes, that's the mentality we need to get into. Is that these players nowadays? Everybody says they're all about money, but yet we get attached to them when they come in here, and then when they leave, we get upset. And we should already know he left for a reason, and we're going to get another one. I mean, there's a portal. I mean, this portal situation that we're about to go through is the craziest thing that anybody's ever seen. I mean, there's superstar after superstar after superstar at every position going into the portal this season. I mean, it's absolutely wild. So I don't think that if you lost Cam Coleman because of money, I think I'm not saying he's replaceable, but I'm saying if he doesn't want to stay for the right reasons, then you get someone to come in for the right reasons, and I think you benefit just as much. That's just my opinion.
We have there's a plethora of players out there in that transfer portal, so we have the pick of the litter. So if Ken Coleman decides to leave, then we got plenty of players out there that want to come play in this system that'll fit Golesh's offense.
That's the other thing
But
that Auburn fans aren't realizing. Like we're going to be like top 5 in the country, maybe top 10. I'll just say that to be safe, so someone doesn't just call me out here. We're going to be like top 10 in the entire country of spending money. So if anybody's going to get who they want, like they say, go get your guy. That's what they always say when the portal opens. Hey, coach, go get your guy. Like we can get several of our guys. You know what I mean?
right, right.
So I just think that's very important. When it also comes to Cam Coleman, I do know that he wants to go to the NFL. I think the development piece that I was talking about earlier is very important. And the last thing that I kind of have written down here is last year in the portal, we had a player that will remain nameless. You can find it on the internet about what I'm about to say. He said that he just basically said he was lied to come here. He was told that he was going to be used as a focal piece. He was going to get, X number of dollars. And when he got here, some of that on the on field stuff wasn't true. He got some of the money, but like the way he was going to be used never came to fruition. And that's why he left. So what I'm trying to get to is that this portal season, which I think Golesh seems like that kind of guy, is that you don't need to blow smoke. You need to just be honest with these people, be honest with Cam, be honest with everybody about your intentions and what you're going to do with them, and then do it, because that's what these players are going to know when the next offseason comes. uh, this guy lied to me or he didn't lie to me, because I mean that's this player that I'm talking about. He made it a very big deal when he declared for the portal just a week ago that he was lied to by Hugh Freeze. So I just think honesty is a really big deal. So just to kind of wrap this up, like what is one of the most important things that you think that we need to do between now and kickoff next September?
Offensive line, offensive line, quarterback, and like depth. And then when we get to spring practice, there's going to be a lot of competition, which is going to be exciting. So like the QB competition, the running back competition is always a competition. Then you got if Cam Coleman decides to come back, then we have our 1 and 2. If Eric Singleton decides to stay, then we're that 3, 4, 5. Like I said, we can always use more depth.
Do you think Eric's pretty important to keep? Is he like a Cam Coleman to you?
Yes, very. He was the top transfer portal wide receiver last year in the portal, and he showed why. So I'm very excited to see what he does in this offense because I think he fits perfectly in this offense as well.
Yeah, I think he does too. Because I'm telling you, that's the number one thing Golesh is doing, is just trying to find the guys that fit perfectly into this system. He doesn't care what their name is. He doesn't care about any of that. He just wants to know if they can fit into this system. So, anyway, I'm going to talk about a couple other things, but I don't want to take up any more of your time. I appreciate you coming on here. Hopefully, we can do it again. And War Damn Eagle.
War Eagle.
Thank you, brother.
Have a good night.
All right. Well, that's kind of a little taste of what I'm trying to do here. I am trying to have Auburn fans on this page. That is my number one goal. That's all I care about. Um, that's what I made this for, because I mean, hell, I got TikTok and I'm doing really well over there. It's a lot of fun over there. Got some followers, have fun doing the videos. Met that gentleman on TikTok and just have had a lot of fun with it. But I want to do longer form content, and I want to do lives, more professional lives. As you can tell, I'm not professional. I mean, hell, you could watch this and tell that, right? So, but I want to talk to Auburn fans. I want to know what they say. It's very important to me, and I guess the one thing that just really stands out is every time you talk to a player, an AD, or anybody, they always say the fans are so important, but yet there's no platform for fans. There's none. And I think that I'm going to create one for the team that I support, and that's why I make this video. So going into this whole portal season, I know everybody's online talking about it. I know everybody's freaking out about it. Um, don't worry, we're in a position we have never been in before. We have a coach that knows what he's doing. He has a system. He has a standard. He has a type of player that he needs in order to pull off what he's trying to pull off, and you have to trust the man. You have to trust that he knows what he's doing. If you don't trust that, it's going to be a rough off season for you, because winning cures all. And if you go watch, as I've begged people to do, go watch some of his interviews when he was with the South Florida Bulls. He goes into depth on how he does this stuff. And I'm telling you, the recruiting piece is tough, because players don't, like, he doesn't beg a player to come play for him. Like, he doesn't go out there and just beg them to come. They have to earn the chance to be offered wherever he's at. That's the way his system is set up. It's kind of like, to be honest with you, Nick Saban's system, people just flocked to Alabama. Like, all he had to do is make a phone call to them and they'd freak out and come. I mean, like, I'm not even playing. That's how he got a lot of his players. It was just, he was who he was. He had proof of concept. They knew he didn't play. They knew he was not joking, and that he would get them to championships. And that's the kind of program you're trying to build, is that you're not chasing down players, begging them to play for you. And that's what Golesh brings to the table. So we just need to trust Golesh. And then when it comes to January 2nd, we're about to enter the biggest spending spree of Auburn football history. We're going to spend more money than we've ever had. We to be honest with you, I think it's the most money of. I mean, we're spending more money than Alabama. Nick Saban said the other day Alabama's going to spend 20 million this year. Now, I understand they have proof of concept and they can get players a little easier than we do. Kind of like Zach Blackerby said on his podcast. You know, the Auburn has to pay the suck tax, because when you aren't as good, you don't have proof of concept. You're going to have to pay to get someone to come. So I think that with the money, though, because everybody says it's about the money, I think with the money, you're going to be able to pretty much get whoever you want. But as I said before, Golesh is going after a certain type of player. So that is going to be maybe the disappointing part, because there's going to be a lot of really big names in the portal. And I don't know if we're going to get every one of them or get even a handful of them. It's going to be key pieces that fit Golesh's system. But I do think that, Byron Brown makes a lot of sense. That's a huge name. That would be scary for anybody that played us. If we had Cam Coleman, Byron Brown, Eric Singleton, Jeremiah Cobb, a good offensive line. I mean, just saying that sounds like you have a chance to win a huge bowl game, if not even make a run at the SEC. I mean, that is a huge situation. I mean, Byron Brown, 240 pounds. His Wikipedia page says he's 6'3". Everybody that's talked to him in person says he's 6'5" or 6'6". He is the same measurables as Cam Coleman, except for he weighs like 10 pounds less. And you're trying to tell me that that's not scary for an opposing defense. Sorry. The second thing is about Byron Brown. There's a lot of people out here saying he's going to go to other schools. There's other, Florida State offered him last year. Is he going to go there? But as I've mentioned before, Taylor Davis said that when she talked to him, she asked him why he didn't transfer out. And he said, because he plays for Golesh. So I don't know why he would play for Golesh all these years, and then the 1 year right before he goes to the NFL, he would just switch that all up and go play for a different offensive coordinator or a different head coach. It makes no sense. So I feel really secure in what that is going to be. I'm about 90% sure that Byron Brown is coming to Auburn. And then that also creates an issue for Deuce Knight, because a lot of fans want Deuce Knight to start. And I think, as I've said in my previous videos, and I'll say it till I get sick to the stomach saying it. We've never had this issue with the quarterback room. We've never had this many talented players in this room to where we had to pick and choose. But I'm just praying that Cam Coleman stays, that Deuce Knight stays, and Deuce Knight can just progress under this Byron Brown. Because if we think about the pieces of the puzzle going together, think about this: Byron Brown, starting QB, plays with Cam Coleman. Cam Coleman has a breakout season. They look great together, and then Byron Brown goes off to the NFL. Well, then guess what? The guy that Cam Coleman desperately wants to hook up with and like play awesome football with is Deuce Knight. And he's just going to be sitting right there in the wings, ready to go when Byron Brown goes. This is like that's what I'm saying. When you can see the pieces kind of going together year after year after year, and you can just see them, 2 years back, 3 years back, you can just see them how it's going to work out. That is how you know the program's going in the right direction. I think that's why Alex Golesh really wants to keep a Deuce Knight. That's why he wants to keep Cam Coleman, because it does set you back a little bit if you lose those two. Um, so I just hope that when Byron Brown gets here, because like I said, I'm about 90% sure he's coming, that Deuce Knight says, hey, you know what? We're setting up for a run here. I want to be a part of it, because there isn't a team you can name in the Power Four that talented gentleman is going to go to and start. Name one. You can't do it. It's not going to happen. There might be a G5 school, but I don't see Deuce Knight going to G5. He's too talented to do that. I know he wants to start. He doesn't want to go to G5 though. So get paid, sit behind someone that's amazing like Byron Brown, learn from him, learn from this coaching staff, and be there when the keys are handed to you. You still will have Cam Coleman that will lock him up at Auburn for his entire career. If you got Deuce Knight in the wings just sitting there ready to go, you got Jeremiah Cobb in the back. Oh my gosh. I mean, I'm telling you, this is going to be one stack situation if you can keep Cam Coleman and Deuce Knight and Byron Brown shows up. Those three pieces set us up for the next 3 seasons. And that's wild to think about, because it seems like here lately we go into every season saying, what the hell are we going to do? And now we're sitting here pre-planning for the next 3 seasons. With the wide receiver situation, you have Eric Singleton's going to be a senior. So when he leaves, you got Cam Coleman, and then you got all these other receivers that you got to go pick up. But that's what the portal's for. You got high school recruits coming in. They might be ready year 2, but then whatever little pieces you need, you pick up in the portal. And I think that's just promising for this offense. I mean, when the offense can just pick up and go, pick up little pieces here, just like all the big teams do now. They lose 3 or 4 or 5 players. They go and see what their recruiting has done. If that's developed, if some of those guys they picked up 2 years ago have developed enough, they plug and play with those guys, and what they can't do with those guys, they go and get with the portal. So I'm saying all of this to say that January 2nd, all the way until the portal closes, is going to be a hell of a lot of fun. So right now, we just need to have a Merry Christmas and not think about all the negativity that's going on with all these hemorrhaging of players, because come June 2nd, Auburn's finna be a player. Auburn is finna to open up that wallet, and they're going to play my wallet's bigger than yours. And it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. I am a psychotic Auburn fan. People that know me understand that. I am also a very calm and measured person. So when it comes to this, I understand what's coming. I'm sitting here waiting. I'm letting all these other fan bases talk crap to me. I'm enjoying it, because I'm telling you, when it comes to the rubber hitting the road, Auburn is going to be a player when it comes to this portal. It's not going to be, we get the leftovers, we get one guy, maybe 2, and then we get the leftovers. It's going to be, does Auburn have a chance at that guy? Well, if they do, then we can't outspend them, because there's only like 2 or 3 teams that are going to outspend us. And that's, a whole nother story to talk about. I mean, look at Ohio State. They spent more than anybody, I believe, 40, 50 million. And look at them. They're not even like the best. They're just like top 5 school. They just paid for it. I mean, that shows you right there that just buying players isn't the trick. It's just you need to use the portal as a piece to accelerate your program, and that's what Auburn's going to do this first season. In the second season, I don't expect us to be this humongous player. I think we're going to get the little pieces that we need, and then that'll be it. That's all we're going to do there. To do what Texas Tech did and do what Ohio State does is asinine. They just literally buy teams, and I know Ohio State recruits pretty good, but I'm telling you, other than that, I mean, they are just buying teams. So just be patient. The portal is almost here. All this negativity will go away. Don't forget also that is basketball season. It's hard to remember that because um, all this mayhem's going on with football. But just be patient, guys. Good times are coming. We got a great coach. We got a guy that does not play around. As I've said, he's got a system. He's got a standard. He knows what kind of player fits in his system. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's got an elite coaching staff, which I talked about on one of my other videos. The coaching staff he brought in here was probably the best first year coaching staff I've ever seen assembled. And I'm not just saying that. The absolute SEC talent on this staff, the championship status and experience on this staff, 51 years of SEC experience on this staff from a guy that has been a head coach for 3 seasons. He's been a coach for 3 seasons at a G5 school, and he brings in a coaching staff with 51 years of experience. And I don't know how the hell he did it. I mean, I know, he's got some great connections at Iowa State. Matt Campbell, Matt Campbell, don't get me talking about him at Penn State now. That's great. That's a great situation up there. But Alex Golesh learned under Matt Campbell, and Matt Campbell, in my opinion, is one of the best coaches in the entire NCAA. He's so underrated. Golesh learned under him. Golesh learned was taught Brock Purdy. Him and Joel Gordon both, our offensive coordinator. That's where he knows Joe Gordon from. He goes to Tennessee. He turns that whole program around. I mean, this is, and I'm sure that's where he met people. But I'm saying, like, I guess just along the way and along the stops, he has impacted some of these people so much that you've got some of the most amazing coaches with 29, 30 years themselves coming in here to be a position coach. You get a defensive coordinator from Mississippi State that comes in here to be a position coach. Like, Alex Gooish has had to make some really big impressions on people in a very short period of time in order to have that kind of pull with these veteran coaches. And they've all just coming in here and just being elite and building this system to what it can be. And I'm just extremely excited what we're in for. And if we can build this whole situation the right way, it's just a well-oiled machine. Every offseason, you know what to do. You just plug and play where you need to plug and play. You pull guys up from the bench that have been developing, and you plug and play those guys. You might have to snatch a quarterback here and there, but it's just a well-oiled machine, and we have not had that in years. Gus Malzahn did great in his first, I'd say, 4, maybe 5 years. That was the last time. Tommy Tuberville did a great job with it pretty much his entire time, but we haven't had that in a long time. And as I've been told, don't talk about the past. I know no one wants to talk about Auburn past because it's actually a pretty successful one. The last 5 years, not so much. So that's why I think that this hire is so special, because I think we're going to get back to our winning ways. We're going to get back to who we are. And it's Christmas. So why be upset about anything, right? Christmas, New Year's, portal. So all we have to look forward to is watching teams lose in the bowl games, in the championship, and just wait until January 2nd, and I think everybody's going to be happy. So I'm not going to waste any more time. I just want to say thank you for joining me. I'm going to be on here every Saturday at 6 p.m. That's when my lives are going to be. If I get more followers and I have more people in here and they want me to do a live like on a Wednesday or something like that, I might start doing two. But as of right now, Saturday, 6 p.m. Central Time, right here on YouTube. You can catch me on TikTok, same name, Auburn Sports Forum. Check me out over there. Got a lot of fun stuff going on over there. Also, hit the little bell so you know whenever I upload a video, you'll know to that I did so. So subscribe. Go to YouTube. Go to TikTok and subscribe. And I just want to say I appreciate you being here. I want to say thank you to everybody that has showed up. I know there's only a few people in here, but we're going to grow this thing. My website, my email address is right here in the bottom right of the corner. Actually, it's the bottom left. Sorry, bottom left of the screen. If you're a fan and you want to be on here with me to talk Auburn, we can talk about whatever. I don't care. You can name the subject. We'll talk about it. Just email me right there at JD Schumann. No, I'm sorry, Schumann JD26 at Yahoo. Oh, wow, I'm screwing this all up. JD Schumann. Wow, Schumann JD. You want me to start over? I'm gonna start off this whole thing because I am screwing up that whole thing. I can't even read it. It's so damn small. I know what it says. Schumann JD26 at gmail.com. Look, I got through it. Holy crap, I did it. Are y'all proud of me? War Damn Eagle. So email me there. Tell me you want to be on here or find me on TikTok. Message me there. I will let you up here. I might even get more than one up here. Who knows? More than one. We can argue about things. That would be really fun because I know there's one person on here and he's known me for a long time. He knows I like to argue, especially about sports. So I want to argue about sports. So yeah, subscribe, like, comment. Have a great night. War Damn Eagle. Peace out.